Good day, everyone. Welcome to All Night Long with the Fox show on Internet Radio Dantata, as well as our new studio set, Night Moves with the Fox studio with Don the Fox and Kitty Cavey. I'm your host, the Fox, for the next half an hour. This show today, we are very lucky that we had a connection with another promoter out of the west coast of the United States, powderxxx.com, and he has sent to us Trinity St Clair from the adult entertainment industry. Welcome to All Night Long with the Fox and Night Moves with the Fox studio. Trinity?
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be with you.
Do you want to, I got a little bit of history on you, but do you want to go ahead and fill in some of the empty spots? Tell us, I guess the first thing would be very interesting to find out how you and Powder met and how you got involved with the industry, and maybe even like how long you've been with the industry.
Okay, yeah. I got involved with Powder through Twitter, the emphasis Twitter. I'm a Twitter addiction addict. It's like that is like my morning cup of coffee right there. It's like I have to check my Twitter, have my coffee. It's just like got to do that. And I got a hold of him on Twitter because he's with the adult industry, or he helps. He knows a lot of people in the adult industry as well. So that's how I got a hold of him, and I'm still considered a newbie. I've only been in the business since last September, but I really didn't shoot much until starting in January, and I'm definitely the new niche or a different breed of porn girl. That's definite. Everyone notices it about me for sure, because I am extremely, completely natural. I've got no fake boobs, no fake nothing, but I am the ultimate spinner. And what I mean by that is I'm about 5'1" and 92 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm a really small, young one, but that's just, I've always been that way. I've never broke 100 pounds, not my entire life. I hardly ever get to 95. I mean, if I hit 95, it's like, I must be Thanksgiving time or something like that, you know.
Now, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
And you probably maybe never been asked this before. I just had an image in my head, and I guess a lot of people would laugh and say it's a stupid image. But I'm going to ask this because of a comment that I was given when I did a show, an interview with Joy King, and she made a couple of comments about how they shoot films. So with your size, you being such a, well, I guess you consider it a small woman or a small model, do you, or do the film people that you work with, do they have, is there any trouble lining you up with a worker to shoot
male talent? Oh,
yeah.
Here we go. Yes. Well, the thing is I have an extremely small, can I say,
you can say whatever you want.
I have a very small vagina. She is very, very small. Her name is Little T, and everyone knows this who follows me or is a fan of Trinity St Clair. It's very small. It's like having sex with a virgin small. So wow. I'm an anal girl. I prefer anal. So when it comes to male talent, the dick size has to be either it has to be lengthy rather than girthy. So the male talents I work with have a lengthy penis rather than a girthy one.
Now,
when anal, then it's like a black hole.
When did you discover that this is how you want it to be?
This is how, this is what I wanted to do?
Well, when did you
Or
discover, because of your size, I gather, when did you discover?
oh, when well, I basically had a sex partner that could not. He was way too big, and he just not for the life of us, he couldn't get it in my vagina. And so, like, we were having sex, and, you know, he couldn't get it in one hole, so he kind of just slid his dick, and it just kind of slid right in my ass, and we just continued on. And he didn't even realize it until we finished, and he's like, oh, my God, was my dick in your ass? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you okay with that? I'm like, sure. I'm like, it felt good. And then from then on, that's just what happened. That's just how I continue to have sex.
That's the
Well,
most
not have
amazing
sex,
description.
it's just
That's the most amazing description I've ever heard.
it's definitely unique. Like I said, I'm one in a million.
Now, getting back for just a minute, maybe, you know, tens of thousands of others wouldn't be interested in this at all, but it caught my attention. You're an early bird.
Yes.
Now,
Very
has
much
that
so.
been part of your life all along, or is this something that you just adapted to because of your career, possibly having to get up and do early shoots, or what is it?
Oh, on the contrary, it actually drives me nuts because I'm up and early and running around, and I've always been this way because that's how I was raised. But the porn business, the whole area, no one shows up on time, and I am so the opposite. I am, like, very persistent, and it means a lot to show up time. And not only do I show up on time, but I show up early. And so I'm usually on set before the makeup artist, before the photographer, before anyone. It's usually me there with the producer, and they're like looking at me like I'm an alien because I'm on time. And usually models show up like an hour late. You know, they've got some excuse here or there, but because I represent myself, you know, I book my own work. It means a lot to me that I'm very persistent and, you know, show respect for whoever I'm working with and am on time. So, yeah.
So you literally are very different from most other adult
porn
entertainers.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, and I like it that way.
how does that affect, or what's the reaction that you get from a lot of the, I don't know the proper word to use for them, the film directors or the camera guys or the agencies or whatever they are? How does that, because they're probably, I have to say, not used to that.
They're kind of like in shock. They don't really know what to think, and like sometimes I almost feel like I'm a nuisance because I'm showing up on time. You know, I'm like, should I leave and come back? You know, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, it's kind of like a fresh air from some of them. They're like, this is so nice. That makes my day go a whole lot more smoother, and they don't have to worry about, you know, things being pushed back, because oftentimes they're not just shooting one scene. So they have my scene, and then they have two others, you know. So if they can get done with my scene early, then, you know, they can either focus on what else is going on or, you know, just focus on the next scene more than having to rush everything to get it done, you know what I mean?
How many photo shoots or scenes have you done since you got into the industry? Do you remember?
Well, I've done I haven't done tons. I'm not going to say I'm like one of those crazy women who shoot 5 days a week, because that's just not really what I want to do, because I want people to want me. So I'm kind of just taking my time, you know, and going slowly but surely, getting enough scenes to where I'm keeping my fans happy, but not doing too many to where they're going to get tired of seeing me, you know?
Okay. Now, what would have been, besides enjoying sex, what would have been the attraction for you to want to enter the adult entertainment industry?
I'm a very, very sexual person. I'm Italian, So I've always been very sensual, very sexual, very passionate. And I really do enjoy sex. But I love the camera. But, I never went into the modeling field. But like I said, I absolutely love that camera. I think I seduce the camera more than I seduce the male talent because like I just connect with it so well, and so that's kind of like what I do. I just absolutely love it. And then so you put the camera and you put the sex together and you get porn, and it's a great thing. And I have my BA in psychology, so let's be honest. This wasn't my goal. I was not like born and said, you know what I want to do when I grow up? I'm going to be a porn star. No. That wasn't on the agenda. I was probably straight as a doornail throughout high school. I was a band geek, straight A student, leadership, vice president. I was like the ultimate goody girl, And then got out of high school, and I just kind of went to college and, shot one day with my boyfriend a little clip of us having sex, and he mentioned, you kind of look good on camera. Have you ever thought of porn? No, I haven't. And the next day, me being a computer techie person who's obsessed with the Internet, Googled up some talent agencies, got a hold of one flew me down, and I was shooting the next day,
That's how it all started?
It was just like bam, 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 and here I am.
Now, bam, 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 here I am. That's a good line. And where is that boyfriend now?
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, they don't last too long. It's really quite funny. You meet a lot of the guys, and they're like, oh my God, you're in porn. That's so awesome. Oh, you're just so great, and they'll stick around. And then, you keep saying, okay, honey, I'm going off to a shoot. I'll see you when I get home. Okay. And then they leave because they leave or you leave them. And I had two boyfriends. I've had two boyfriends since the industry. One before I got in and then one during. And basically they gave me the ultimatum. They said, it's either me or porn. I'm like, do you know how I'm making good money? I'm doing something I absolutely love. I have fabulous fans, and you want me to give up my career to be with you? Not gonna happen. So bye-bye, boy. So.
Well, no, that brings up another question. You just opened up another little tiny can of worms. Now, I've heard this story over and over again by a lot of the stars, whether it's a dancer or a film star. Now, let's say, for example, you were a dancer. Now, some guy comes trucking into a club, sober or drinking, doesn't matter, and he discovers Trinity the dancer. Now, you click somehow, and you start dating or whatnot. He met you as a dancer on a stage. He liked what he saw. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried to connect and date you. And then suddenly, okay, I think you should stop being a dancer. You're my girlfriend now. I'd like you to come home and, be my wife or whatever it's going to be. Where does that legitimacy come in where they met you there, but suddenly because you're with them now, it can't happen, you have to quit? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. And it's